Hello guys, Crisp here, and today my friends, welcome to another video. Today I have to thank you all for the three.
I always say three. I've tried to make this video 3 or 4 times and I always say three. So
today my friends, I have to thank you for the 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, thank you very much. I love you all. And you guys just don't imagine how much this means for me and how happy I am with that. So let's get right into the video. Now I'm gonna show you my GPU collection. Let's start with the oldest one all the way through the newest one. That
belongs beside that one, but I didn't have space. Whatever.
So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about them. So yeah, here we got the 2600 XT, the oldest of the bunch. This was released in 2007.
As you can see, HD 2600 XT.
This has 256 megabytes of VRAM. Doesn't need a power connector for the from the power supply. And yeah, it's a cute little card. I like the design. The flaming stuff on it is pretty cool. Yeah. And I got it for free, actually included in two controllers that I bought for 10 euros. So it's not actually free, but yeah, you know, the guy just threw it in, so, and it works, so that's awesome. This one here is the HD 4850. It was released in 2008 for $199, the same as that one, I forgot to say. This, as you can see, it's a little bit worn out, but 4850, 512 megabytes of VRAM, needs a 6-pin power connector. And yeah, unfortunately these don't support DirectX 11 as well as this one, so I can't test newer games with them, but they do a pretty good job in games like CSGO or Dota 2 or all that stuff. You guys can check the links down in the description for the playlists of every single one of these. Yeah, they're not bad cards, okay? I don't recommend them, but yeah, whatever. This one here is the GTX 260. I removed the back plate of it actually, so let me just get it so I can show you. It has 800 and let me see. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, by the way, that doesn't work. That's a GT620 that displays a black screen.
So yeah, this also doesn't have anything on it, any stickers saying that's a 260. But believe me guys, it's a GTX 260, okay? It was released in 2008 as well as this one, but this one was $449 and I got these two for 10 euros each. So yeah, not bad, but you know, I don't recommend anyone to buy these older cards today. All right, next up we got the HD 5770, and I actually have made a separate video for every single one of these three.
You guys can check that out in the cards right here.
So yeah, the 5770 was released in 2009 for $159.
Focus man. Okay, so where is it? Where does it say 5970? 5970? No, it's not 5970. 5770.
Okay, it doesn't tell you anywhere. I bought this for 20 euros like 2 years ago when we got 3,000 subscribers. So this was actually my first used graphics card that I bought. And yeah, it uses a 6-pin power connector, as you can see there. It was pretty good card when I bought it 2 years ago for 20 euros, but now because of driver support and the older architecture, it doesn't run the latest games, of course. Now we got the GTX 460 here. Now this is actually a pretty good card still today. It performs like a GT 1030 in most games like Fortnite and PUBG and stuff. As you can see, GTX 460, it's a 1GB GDDR5 edition. It's the direct CU model, the Asus top. Yeah, and the cooler is pretty cool. I think it looks different from everything that we have here. It's like blue, and it's a good kind of blue, you know. So that's the GTX 460 released in 2010.
And I'm just gonna put the price that it was released at in the screen.
But yeah, I bought this one for 20 euros as well, so it wasn't a bad deal. It's GT 1030 performance for 20 euros. Of course, it consumes a lot more power. It needs 2 6-pins, but yeah, it's a good little card and it's still okay for a few games today. Now we got the GTX 550 Ti. This one I bought for 25 euros. It was released in 2011. So this is the Battlefield 3 days. And it released for $149. So if you wanted to play Battlefield 3 and you were in a budget, you wanted that. You wanted the 550 Ti. Now we got the GTX 560 Ti. So this one is just the previous owner just, I have no clue what he did to this card. Just look at that cooler. This is pretty amazing. And one of the fans is also a little bit, it's like glued or something, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what he did, but it was working when I bought it, and it's still working today. This is the 560 Ti 1GB edition, GDDR5. As you can see, it's the Twin Frozer OC model. I actually traded that one. I traded my HD 7850 for this one plus a working PS3. And this was in a really bad shape when I bought it. There was thermal paste all over the cooler and all over the PCB. It was awful. It was released in 2011, like the 550 Ti, for $249. Now we got here the GTX 660. Now I got this one for 35 euros. It released back in 2012. It's still a very decent card for today's games, like not the newest games, but Fortnite's, PUBG's, and I think even Apex Legends runs at 720p, but Apex Legends doesn't run very well in older cards. It's because of the architecture or driver support or something like that. But yeah, cool little card, GTX 660. It released for $229. Now, we got these two over here, and I don't recommend these three. This is the 740, 730, and 710. I don't recommend any of you to buy them in 2019 or whenever. So this is the 710. The cooler is the Asus Silent. So it has no fans on it. These are the 2GB DDR3 editions. As well as the 740 over here. Yeah, these can still be found new. This one I believe for around 35 to 45 euros. This one for 50 to 65 euros, and this one for 80 to 100 euros actually. Yeah, that's what I found it going for, a brand new. So yeah, these cards, price to performance wise, they're absolutely horrible and no one should buy them. 3 were released in 2014.
Now we got another one from 2014, and I'm actually getting a bit tired of talking too much because it's really hot in here today.
But yeah, this is the GTX 750 Ti. I had another 750 Ti, but I sold it for $60 and bought this one for 35 because the VGA and the DVI ports don't work, but the HDMI does, so I made $25 there. This is the point of view model. Point of view was discontinued or bankrupt or whatever, I don't remember correctly, but I remember when it happened. But yeah, it's a shame. Point of view is pretty good. I actually need to replace the thermal paste on it. Now, you can find many of these used for like around 30 to 40 bucks. These are actually pretty decent cards, like the GTX 660 there. They can run most of the recent games at low settings, 1080p or 720p. And yeah, for the price, I mean, they're readily available and you can buy them like on eBay. Yeah, they're okay, right? 750 Ti doesn't consume a lot of power. This one doesn't even need a PCI power connector from the power supply. So I do recommend this if you guys can't get anything else for a decent price, like for example the 960 there or the 950. But yeah, it's okay, right? It's 750 Ti, man. It's legendary. Now, this one is actually Maxwell card, so it's from the same architecture as the 900 series, the 950, 960 here. These ones are the 760 and 780 are from the Kepler architecture. And actually, this is pretty interesting because I found that the 760 performs worse in Apex Legends and the Division 2 than the 750 Ti, and this should never happen because they're from the same generation, right? They're from the 700 series. But no, the 760 performs worse than the 750 Ti. So this little card is absolutely legendary. It's one of my favorites. Now, the 760 here, I actually had the direct CU model before, but I sold it with a used computer that I built. So I got this one for 35 bucks. And also, I forgot, this one was 10 euros, this one was 12 euros, and this one was 20 euros. The 760, 35 bucks, released in 2013. This one too, the 780 that I bought last week for 65 bucks.
65 bucks means 65 euros because bucks it's easier to say than euro.
Yeah, this is a reference cooler. I like the reference cooler designs very much. They look cool, but they don't run cool at all. Let me just show you that. Okay, 762 gigabyte. I actually replaced the thermal paste here recently, but it still doesn't run cool at all. Yeah, that's just because of the design, but it's okay. It's like 77 to 78 degrees Celsius, not too bad. Now the 780 here, I love this card. It released back in 2013, as well as that one, for $649, and I got it for 65 euros here last week. You can actually buy it for less. I kind of don't recommend it. It still runs all of the latest games very well. It performs closely to a GTX 1650, that one. But the problem is it consumes a lot of power. So it consumes 250 watts of power to deliver 1650 performance. For this one is 75 watts. But it also costs a lot less.
And oh my gosh, I just spit over one of the graphics. Oh no, it's in my phone. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, that's the 780. Pretty beefy cooler over there. I really enjoy this playing with this card. It's very good looking in my opinion. So 950 here, 900 series Maxwell. So Maxwell was a huge improvement over Kepler. They kept the same node, 28 nanometers, but the power consumption improvements were right on. Were pretty good. So the 970 consumed, I think, 150 watts, and it performed like the 780 Ti, not the 780. But yeah, this one is the 950. The 950 here, as you can see, I made a separate video about this one. It consumes 90 watts. It has a 6-pin power connector. I bought this one for 60 euros like 2 years ago, I think. And when it launched, it cost, let me check, $159. And these two released in 2015. So this is the GTX 960. I got it for 60 euros a few months ago. Where is it? There it is. Okay, GTX 960 Gaming 2G. So MSI cooler on that. That's the gaming cooler. Pretty damn good cooler. The card doesn't reach like more than 65 degrees at full load, and it's still a very decent card. It performs like a 1050 Ti, give or take a few FPS in a few games. But yeah, I still do recommend this card. You can get it like on AliExpress for 60 or 70 bucks. So it's a pretty cool card. And here we go. From the 900 series, I almost missed it. We got the GTX 980. Now, the GTX 980 was released in 2014 instead of 2015 for those two. And it cost $549, and we got it for like,
oh my gosh, am I breaking the graphics card? Please don't go full Linus, Chris. Okay, thank you.
The 980 here, $549 it cost when it released. We got it for 250 euros like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember correctly, but it wasn't a very bad deal. It wasn't a very good deal. It was okay. My friend was needing a graphics card, so yeah, we picked that up. Now, 1060, get out of there. This is the GT 1030. Now, the GT 1030 is pretty interesting. It can run most of the games, most of the recent games at 720p lowest settings, the AAA games. and it can run Fortnite and PUBG and everything else at very low settings or low settings, 60 plus FPS at 1080p.
PUBG, not quite 60 plus, but like 60 average. But yeah,
This cooler is completely overkill. The graphics card doesn't even reach 50 degrees Celsius because it only consumes 30 watts and it has a fan on it. This could run passively. And the 1030, released in 2017, I bought it new for 65 euros. You can find it now on Amazon for 70 to 85 euros. And for that price, I don't recommend it. I recommend you get like a 960 or a 570. That's my go-to recommendation, but we'll talk about it soon. Yeah, the 960 is a much better card than this and also cheaper when bought used. And if you buy it on AliExpress, you have returns and all of that stuff. So I just see no reason to buy this, okay? Unless you have like a 200 watt power supply or something like that. At least brand new, it's not worth the money, in my opinion.
And moving on, we got the RX 570 released in 2017 as well.
Oh, wait, not yet. We got the 1060 first. The 1060 was released in... Let me just get the box, okay? Oh my gosh, no, it's down there. I will go through the boxes soon. So the 1060 was released in 2016. I got it for 360 euros when it came out. I spent like a month without graphics cards waiting for the RX 580s to be on stock, and then the 1060s came and they outperformed the 480s by a little bit and they were readily available, so I just bought it for an overpriced price. But I spent a month without GPU and I was going nuts playing TF2 with 40 FPS. It can still be found for around 220 euros brand new, and I don't recommend it at that price because there are RX 570s and RX 580s for much cheaper than that. So yeah, now my favorite card probably right here and my go-to recommendation for 1080p gaming is the RX 570 here.
Where is it? Somewhere around there it should be.
Okay, RX 570 ITX 4GB. So this one is the Sapphire Pulse edition. I bought it for 100 euros.
It has some signs of wear, as you can see.
I bought it from a miner, but it's working fine, absolutely. It heats up a little bit more than the usual RX 570 because the cooler only has a single fan and it's quite small, but you know, I replaced the thermal plates and stuff like that. But you put it at 65% fan speed, it's not too loud and it doesn't even reach 70 degrees. So this can readily be found for like 80 to 100 bucks used, or even less in some countries. So this is amazing price performance. You can get like pretty much every game to play at 1080p 60 FPS on high settings or more, and you can even do a little bit of 1440p gaming on it. So I definitely recommend this card if you guys are looking to upgrade to a newer card. So the RX 570 can be found for around 130 euros brand new, and it usually comes with a few games. 570 is a go-to card for 1080p gaming in 2019. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you guys think that the 1660 Ti is a much better card for 1080p gaming, but whatever. 570 gets my recommendation. It's probably the best recommendation here out of this bunch of graphics cards. So yeah, RX 570. Now, the direct competition to the RX 570 from NVIDIA is the GTX 1650. Now, I bought this one for 172 euros, brand new. It was the cheapest one available here in Portugal, and it doesn't have a power connector, as you can see there. This, for 172 euros, is an absolute monstrosity of a bad deal. But that was available at the same store for 140 euros at the time I bought this, and I felt so bad walking in and asking for a GTX 1650. You have no idea. That also came with 2 games, so yeah. This is a bad deal for now. I hope the prices of it drop because it's actually a pretty decent card for the performance you get. It consumes 75 watts instead of 150 watts on the RX 570, but that's not a problem. I think Actually, for me, it's not a problem, but for some it might be. I understand that. It performs close to the RX 570. It's like 10% slower, 10-15 in some games. In other games, it matches the 570, but 570 is overall a faster card. I don't recommend you buy this because it is so overpriced right now, but if the prices come down, and they eventually will, I hope, this is a cool option for low-powered builds. Now, 1660 Ti, and I forgot the 1080 here, but 1660 Ti. I bought this one about 2 weeks ago for 270 euros. It can be found for around 280 to 320 euros. This one is the Zotac Amp edition, and yeah, it's a good little cooler over there. It doesn't go beyond like 68 degrees. I think that's the max that I've seen it go to. And it's a very good card for 1440p and 1080p gaming. It performs the same as the GTX 1070, basically the same. And I kind of do recommend it, but then you have like Vega 56s used for $100 cheaper or less. So yeah, if you can buy used, just don't buy this. But
if you buy a new graphics card, definitely a good choice, not a bad choice at least.
The 5700 from AMD is actually a better option. But for example, for me in my country, the 5700 is 100 euros more expensive than this one. So yeah, for that price, just take the 1660 Ti and be happy. Finally, we got to my personal main graphics card, and I don't even know why I say it's my main graphics card, because I'm perfectly happy with any of these in my computer, even the 710, because
Sometimes when I finish benchmarking, I'm too lazy to remove it from my PC and install another one and install the new drivers and stuff. So I just go play some Dota 2 with my friends, and I actually have played it with the 710 at 60 FPS, 1080p, like 40 or 30% resolution scale, when I had all of this available in my room. So yeah, just laziness speaking.
Alright, so the GTX 1080 released in 2016. This one is the Asus Strix edition. Pretty good cooler, as you can see, pretty big one. This one I bought used for 300 euros back in November or December 2018. Now, if you buy it used, I suggest you buy it for like 280, 250, maybe 250 to 300 euros, not more than that, because for 350 you can get an RTX 2060, which performs a couple of FPS slower than this in the most recent games. Still a very decent card for 1440p gaming, and I am very happy with it. And it's actually my girlfriend that has been using it the most for playing Apex Legends and Overwatch at 1440p. Yeah, pretty good card. This one is actually pretty interesting story, because prices are very high on used cards in Portugal, and I got this for 300 euros. And it was like a
firm or something, he said, that was selling it. So it was not one just random guy, you know. So I was kind of trusting him, you know. He did show me the graphics card working, but I didn't see it like in my own hands or like right there. He just showed me a video of it, and he was selling it for 300 euros. So I sold my 980 Ti for 280 and went to buy this one for 300. Now, when I opened it up, I think the guy just spilled some liquid cooling on it,
because it was soaking wet inside, and I don't even know how this works. So guys, with used deals, always, if you can, and if they are expensive like this one, always test the graphics cards yourself, you know, if you have the opportunity and if you can do it. Because I don't even know if the guy thought it was broken or if the guy knew it was working. It was very sketchy, but it's been working since December, so I don't think there's a problem with it. I cleaned it up, of course, everything, and changed the thermal paste and everything else. It wasn't even opened. It hadn't been even opened when I got it.
Now I'll move on to the boxes.
Alright, so here are the boxes that I have. The 1650 box is missing. I have no idea where I put that, but here is the 1060 Gaming X, as I was saying, the 1080 Strix, the 780 Asus DirectTu 2OC, the 710, the 1030, the GTX 560 Ti, RX 570, GTX 960, GTX 460, and GTX 1660 Ti. I still have to show you the laptops, right? Alright, so starting with this one, this is the MX150 laptop with an i5 8250U, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabyte SSD. This one has a TN panel, 1366 by 768, as well as this one. These are very bad panels, as you can see. They look very bad. This one is an IPS screen, as you can see. It looks much better than this. But yeah, that's my brother's. That has the Vega 8 and the Ryzen 5 2500U, 512 gigs of SSD storage. I can't make videos on this one right now because the HDMI port just broke for some reason. I can't connect my capture card to this, so I can't really record videos on it. This one is the GTX 970M with an i7-6700HQ with 16 gigs of RAM, 250 gigabyte SSD, 1 terabyte hard drive, and it's an XMG P506. It's like one of those off-brand laptops. Clevo P651, I think, something like that. Yeah, this is a pretty decent laptop for the price I paid for it, which was 530 euros. So 970M performs like the desktop GTX 960. The i7 is still pretty decent for today, 16 gigs of RAM and everything else, IPS screen. So yeah, it's good, definitely improvement over my previous one, which was that one. Here we have an old laptop. Hello, you can see my, nope, no, face reveal at 50k. Alright, so this one has a GeForce 410M with an i3-2320M,
i2320M, maybe, I don't remember properly.
This one has 4 gigs of RAM, an hard drive. It's very slow and old and no one uses it anymore. It was my brother's. This one here is just some keys missing. A GeForce 103M with a Pentium dual core T4200, I think, with 2 gigahertz, and the 103M is very old. And yeah, this laptop still works, but I don't have a working power brick for it, so I'll probably make a few videos on this once I get that power brick, but I don't know. This one my uncle gave it to me because I got him a new one, and this one's very old. I'm actually not sure what graphics card it has, but it has an Nvidia one, as you can see. The brand is very weird. It's a Centrino Intel CPU, Windows XP, and as you can see, it's pretty worn out, but all the keys are still in place. It still boots and it's fast. I think it has an SSD, 60 gig SSD, and it's a 3 Triudos. I don't know, man, but yeah, it's interesting, and I have it. And this one is a first gen i5. I don't know the model of it, I don't remember. It has a GeForce 310M, and yeah, it's pretty small. The screen is pretty small, but the laptop itself is pretty thick, as you can see. So yeah, those are the laptops in the channel. I haven't done videos on this one, or that one. The other one with the 410M, I already made a few videos on. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing more videos about those, but whatever. And I think that's pretty much it, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this different video. I will be doing a setup tour soon as well, so keep tuned in for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day or week or everything, you know. Just be wonderful peoples that you are. And thank you so much, so much again for the 30,000 subscribers.
That really means a lot to me. So I will see you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Why do I keep doing this?